Today is June 10th, and I'm Derek O'Shea, and this is the Derek O'Shea Show. Oh, breaking reports out. Biden's doing a great job. Inflation jumps to 5% through April, and the quickest rise in consumer prices since the Great Recession. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel good, warm on the inside? CPI rose 0.6% in May, according to Department of Labor data released Thursday, bringing the annual CPI increase to 5%. Well, over the 4.7 that was actually predicted by economists interviewed at the Wall Street Journal. It's only 4.7. It's not totally 5. Oh, it's actually 5. According to CPI, a measure of consumer good prices minus the more volatile indexes for food and energy rose 0.7% in May after a 0.9% jump in April. Inflation is here. This is like, it's happening. I just saw articles about all these major companies buying up all this land, all these houses, and pension funds buying up land and houses. They're preparing for inflation. Are you preparing for inflation? They want to raise minimum wage to 15%. Makes you feel good on the inside. But what happens when that $15 minimum wage is worth less than what you're making now? It's tough. And why do they hate Bitcoin? For stuff like this. Because they can't inflate Bitcoin like they can inflate the dollar. They can't be in charge of where that money goes, how much money is printed and given to their friends. That's why on this video yesterday with Elizebeth Warren, she said that Bitcoin is a disaster for our planet and calls for a crackdown on the environmentally wasteful cryptocurrency. No, that's the reason? Really? You think it's environmentally wasteful and that's the reason? Because I'm going to come on a limb here. I think you guys hate it because you can't control Bitcoin. And you hate the fact that regular, everyday Americans like me can buy into Bitcoin and it jumps up in price and goes down in price, and you can't be the one in control of it. And you can't keep an eye on it. You can't. It's hard to find it. It's hard to do all. That's why the IRS yesterday, I reported on the IRS yesterday, they want full control over it because they want to be given that control and they want to be able to track you and they want to be able to tax you. Ultimately, it's not about, everyone thinks it's like Bitcoin, all these murderous people. No, it's everyday Americans like you and me who are just kind of slightly a little nerdy and like the idea of a cryptocurrency and hate the establishment. That's why they hate it so much. And they hate it they also like use stuff like this as an excuse. As meat producer JBS paid $11 million apparently in ransom money in Bitcoin. Because if you're a criminal, you're going to use Bitcoin. It's a great service. But also, if you're an everyday American, it's a great way to hedge against inflation. Like gold. That's why they don't want you to put your money in gold either, because it takes money away from the dollar. But again, I'm not an economist, and I would love an economist to come on a show and talk to me about this stuff. I'm just like you, looking at this and thinking logically about stuff. And you're not very logical, okay? Speaking on Fox News, Guatemala's president says a border crisis was sparked by president's family reunification vow and reveals he told Kamala to impose tougher sentences on people smuggling to stop flood of South Americans. He also said coyotes, remember when she said that? And coyotes. He said coyotes, traffic people, twist their words to drum up extra business. Of course they do. If you're in the business of smuggling people or smuggling drugs, you think you're just a stand-up human being. You're just going to be like, yes, this kid is mine. Guatemala praised Harris for finally on Monday telling them to not come across the border. And I praised her too. I said, that is good Kamala. Bad Kamala, good Kamala. But it's only a matter of time if she walks that back. There's no way. There's so much outlash, and her, AOC is very disappointed in Kamala, so she needs to come out and say, AOC, baby, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to do what I can. I don't know why I turned into like boo-boo mama juju, but that's what happened. So even a Guatemalan president's looking at it saying, no, you guys definitely sparked all this influx of people. As Biden and Kamala try to blame it on Trump's policies. Well, we didn't see it under Trump, but we definitely saw it under you. Finish the border wall and lock down the border. It's for safety. It's not because you hate immigrants or you're just this big racist. It stops a lot of legal activity and a lot of incredible harm that goes across the border. How about that? How about when you see a 5-year-old kid being left alone and screaming for help, but everyone left him because, they used him to get across the border, or they just used him to get there to make him for optics reasons. You're just sitting there like, I'm going to go to Guatemala and I'm going to speak to the people. I'm not going to go to the border, because I did like that Lester Holt actually asked her a real question and didn't back down, didn't allow her just to do the politicking thing that she's done her whole life, and as media just allows her, as she does her cackling laughs when she feels uncomfortable that she can't answer a question. Thank you, Lester Holt, for having some cojones. After comparing vaccine dodgers with drunk drivers, Broadway legend Andrew Lloyd Webber, a.k.a. the Phantom of the Opera, now says he will risk arrest if the government doesn't allow theaters to fully open to capacity. Speaking with the Daily Telegraph, the famed composer said that he will open 6 of his London theaters in 2 weeks, regardless of COVID and social distancing protocols. London has planned to ease restrictions on June 21st, but the variants of the virus have put into doubt. Weber said that keeping theaters locked down was simply anti-science. Even those in theater are speaking out against it. Don't you love it? Don't mess with the theater kids, bro. They will open those theaters, and they will do it today. They're not scared of nothing, brother. I mean, they become whatever they want. The Phantom of the Opera, it's not even real. He's not afraid to open a theater, so be scared. A study on 255 patients was done at St. Barnabas Medical Center in New Jersey about hydroxychloroquine. I thought we weren't allowed to talk about that. I thought that was something stupid Trump said. Remember? Hydroxychloroquine, a new study of the drug touted by Trump, can increase COVID survival rates by 200%. The drug was used in high dose with zinc, increased the survival rates. Are you telling me, Derek, that COVID-19 was incredibly politicized, and even if Trump said it and it was correct, it was seen as negative and dangerous? See, I keep telling people that anytime you hear the words dangerous being spouted out, it doesn't feel very dangerous. That should spark your ears and make you concerned. Moderna asked FDA to expand emergency use of COVID-19 vaccine to include kids in ages of 12 to 17, which would make it the second shot approved by children. Keep pushing this, and there's still some states that are not fully open. I just don't understand. We have all these studies, hydroxychloroquine with zinc, 200% increase. I feel like people have an opportunity to sue here, because if people requested it and weren't given it, and then a study like this comes out and they're like, wait a minute, so you're telling me the only reason you didn't give me it is because you hated Trump too and you just didn't want to give this to me? And then I saw that video with Fauci saying that anytime you talk negative about Dr. Fauci, you're speaking negatively about science, and you're hurting science, and you're hurting Dr. Fauci. You are not science. I hate these people who choose a couple people here and there, and then they just spout them as scientific fact, as if they're not human beings and can have error in any capacity. And they just say, hey, Dr. Fauci, whatever he says is true. He's not going to say something untrue. It's not like he's a career politician and he makes great money and he says whatever he can to stay in power. It's not like he probably has a ton of people underneath him and that they're trying to push things to him. And he's like, I'm just too busy to look at. I'm just so tired of seeing this stuff. He's not this perfect being walking around that is the science denier and science supplier. In an executive order titled Executive Order on Protecting Americans' Sensitive Data from Foreign Adversaries, President Joe Biden revoked the Trump administration's ban on the Chinese-backed social media platform TikTok. Yes! TikTok is back! Joe Biden and his executive orders. I want to encourage you today to go on Google and type in How many executive orders has Joe Biden done? And good luck finding it. John McWhorter, a black Columbia University linguistics professor, is urging linguistics, that's interesting, is urging parents who are truly anti-racist to pull their children out from private schools that had started to teach far left critical race theory. I like Warder, and I agree. I've been saying I just did another video about critical race theory and how terrible it is and how it's actually racist. Check it out on my YouTube page. But I did a couple of them. It's incredibly racist, and I'm done like playing around with it. This is something that we need to fight, and I feel like there's a little gap of people fighting back, and I think that's when you need to really pour it on. So, and I agree. If you are truly anti-racist and your kids are being taught CRT, you should pull them out of the school. McWhorter remarks about Dwight Englewood School come in response of English teachers Dana Strangle Powell's decision to resign from the school over allegations it was indoctrinating students with Marxist theory, which is who I reported on yesterday, that $52,000 a year private school she came out against, and she was also Teacher of the Year, and that's fantastic. We need more people that are brave in these professions to speak up about this racist ideology being pushed down people's throats, and it's just completely fabricated and false. And people are claiming it's not racist. It's completely racist. Iowa's Governor Kim Reynolds signs legislation on Tuesday banning critical race theory from being taught and promoted in governmental agency schools and state-funded universities. Congrats for Iowa. She said, critical race theory is about labels and stereotypes, not education. It teaches kids that we should judge others based on race, gender, or sexuality identity rather than the content of someone's character. Good God, that's a good statement. Yes. That is 100% what it is. Everything's racial. Everything's racist. No matter what room you walk in, you need to figure out where you stand. Are you oppressed or are you the oppressor? You need to figure it out at all times. You can't just get to know someone. Even if someone seems very evil, if they're a POC, you just need to accept it. Reynolds said that in a statement according to the Des Moines Register, I'm proud to have worked with the legislature to promote learning and non-discriminatory indoctrination. Yes. Discriminatory indoctrination is what CRT is. It's being pushed. It's just, you know, when like history repeats itself, you see things that are very Nazi feeling, like CRT, you know, make white people to be seen as the oppressors. They're oppressing society. As you see Nazi Germany, and the Nazis said that Jews were oppressing Germany. They're oppressing us, and they control everything. They have all the money, and they have all this stuff, and they're in control of the banks, and they're in control of the financials, and they're in control of all the major institutions, and they're taking us down. It's the same thing. I don't understand how people don't see that. The people just think critical race are like Obama. It's just, you're just being reminded of some of the bad things that happened in the past. No. No, you're indoctrinating children and people to think and look at especially white males, despite any interaction with them whatsoever, as the other. You see them as the oppressor. Ergo, wouldn't you, after a while, start to look at white men as the oppressor? You would start to get more and more angry towards them, regardless of what they've done or who they are. You would start to label them. You would start to want to be far away from them. As I see all these kids on TikTok talk about how they want to only go to black colleges because they feel safer there. They feel unsafe at a college because there's white males there. It's freaking insane. It's so racist. And I blame leadership. I don't blame these kids. These kids aren't fully developed. They're easily manipulated. They don't have enough time to actually read stuff like this, so they actually believe it. So there's nothing empowering about being known that you are a victim for the rest of your life, no matter what you do, because the system is stacked against you. That doesn't help people. It's not even true, but it also doesn't help people emotionally. It makes people more crippled. It makes them more angry, and you're only creating more factions. You're making people afraid to have conversations with other people because they wonder, do you believe in this critical race theory? Because if you do, then you see me as the aggressor no matter what I do, and you see me as a threat. That's not okay. Oh, man, I could do like a 20-hour show on how much critical race theory is racist. And today in history, And June 10th, 1952, white supremacist, I'm just kidding, Benjamin Franklin flies a kite during a thunderstorm and collects ambient electrical charge in a radar jar, enabling him to demonstrate the connection between lightning and electricity. Franklin became interested in electricity in the mid-1740s, a time when much was unknown on the topic, and spent most of a decade conducting electrical experiments. He coined the number of terms used today, including battery, no way, conductor, oh my god, and electrician. He also invented the lightning rod used to protect buildings and ships. That's actually pretty cool. The lightning rod's pretty dope. I live near a hospital that has a huge lightning rod, and I think that is awesome. And I'm still waiting for the day to watch it get hit. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Derek O'Shea Show. I hope this show was good. I was a little off the rails. I'm getting more and more angry about this critical race theory because it's so freaking racist, and people need to speak up more about it because it's unbelievable. It's literally the most unbelievable thing ever. And please go to my YouTube page and check out some of my debunking. There was an academic journal just posted about whiteness and why it's bad and what we need to do about it. And then I think the final sentence was something about there's not yet a final cure for whiteness. It's like the most final solution minded thinking thing. I don't understand how people don't see the parallels between this and Nazi Germany. It's so clear. Just because it's a different race doesn't make it, you can't use it. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Derek O'Shea Show. Please share this with your friends and family. Tell them about the Derek O'Shea Show as I continue to speak out against some of these things more and more. And I'm just an average day person like you with tons of degrees and just academically brilliant and I'm just, with a mind on loan from God. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. I'm just kidding. God, I hate myself. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Derek O'Shea Show.